Hello everyone and a hearty welcome to all of you. Class 10th presents a hilarious short play adapted from a story The Hack Driver written by an American novelist Sinclair Lewis. Sit back, relax and enjoy the play which will surely tickle your funny bone.
After graduating with honors, Lewis became a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm. He was sent not to prepare legal briefs but to serve summons. He had to go to dirty and shadowy corners of the city to seek out his victims. Some of the larger and more self confident ones even beat him up. One day he rejoiced when they sent him out 40 miles in the country to a town called New Mullen to serve summons on a man called Oliver Lutkins. They needed this man as a witness in a law case, but he had ignored all their letters. When Lewis got to New Mullen, his eager expectations of a sweet and simple country village were severely disappointed. Its streets were rivers of mud, with rows of wooden shops, either painted sore brown or bare of any paint at all. The only agreeable side about the place was the delivery man at the station. He was about 40, red faced, cheerful, and thick about the middle. His working clothes were very dirty and well worn, and he had a friendly manner. You would feel at once that he liked people.
Excuse me, I want to find a man named Oliver Lutkins.
Lutkins. I saw him here about an hour ago. Hard fellow to catch though, always up to something or other. He's probably trying to start up a poker game at the back of Fritz. I'll tell you, boy, is there any hurry about locating Lutkins?
Yes, I actually want to catch the afternoon train back to the city.
I'll tell you what, I've got a hack. I'll get it out and we will drive around together and search for Lutkins. I know most of the places he hangs out.
The hack driver was so open and friendly that Lewis glowed with the warmth of his affection. He knew that he wanted his business, but his kindness was real. Lewis was glad that his fair money would go to his good fellow. He managed to bargain to $2.
Well, young man, here's the carriage. I don't want to interfere, but my guess is that you want to collect some money from Lutkins. He never pays anybody a cent. He still owes me $50 on a poker game I was fool enough to play with him. He's not really bad, but it's hard to make him part with his money. If you try to collect from him in those fancy clothes, he'll be suspicious and get away from you. If you want, I'll go into Fritz and ask for him while you stay out of sight.
Lewis took him into his confidence and told him that he wanted to serve summons on Lutkins. The hack driver hit him on his shoulder and laughed.
Well, we'll give brother the Lutkins a little surprise.
Let's start, driver.
Most folks around here call me Bill or Magnuson. My business is called William Magnuson Fancy Carting and Hacking.
All right, Bill. Shall we proceed to Fitz?
Yes, Lutkins is likely to be there as anywhere. Plays a lot of poker, he's good at deceiving people. Have you seen Oliver Lutkins around today? A friend of his looking for him.
Fritz looked at Lewis hitting behind Bill.
Yes, he was in here a little while ago. Guess he is gone over to Gustav's to have a shave.
Well, if he comes in, tell him I'm looking for him.
Bill went in as Lewis lingered at the door. He asked Swed and other two customers, but Swed hadn't seen him.
I haven't seen him and I don't care to, but if you see him, you can collect my $35 which he owes me.
One of the customers thought he had seen Lutkins walking down the main street.
Since Lutkins has exhausted his credit at Gustav, he has probably gone to Grace for a shave.
At Gray's barber shop, they missed Lutkins by only 5 minutes. He had just left, probably for the pool room. At the pool room, they came to know that he had just brought some packs of cigarettes and gone out. So they pursued him, just behind him, but never catching him. Now it was past 1 o'clock. Lewis was hungry, but he had so enjoyed Bill's rough country opinion about his neighbors that he scarcely felt whether he found Lutkins or not.
How about eating something? Let's go to a restaurant and I'll buy you lunch.
Well, I ought to go home to the wife. I don't care much of these restaurants, only four of them, and they're all bad. Tell you what we'll do. We'll get the wife to pack a lunch for us. She won't charge you more than $50, and it would cost you more for a greasy meal in a restaurant. And we'll go up to Wade's Hill and enjoy the view while we eat.
Lewis knew that his helpfulness to the young fellow wasn't entirely a matter of brotherly love. He was paying him for his time. In the end, he paid him for 6 hours, including the lunch hour, which was then a very high price. But he was no longer dishonest than Lewis. Lewis charged the whole thing to the firm. They left the peaceful scenes of meadows and woods and resumed their search of Oliver Lutkins. They couldn't find him. At last, Bill concerned a friend of Lutkins and made him admit what he guessed.
Oliver gone to his mother farm 3 miles north.
I know Oliver's mother. She's a real terror. I took a trunk out there for her once and she almost took off my skin because I didn't treat it like a box of eggs. She's about 9 feet tall and 4 feet thick and quick as a cat, and she sure can talk. I bet Oliver's heard that somebody's chasing him and he's gone out there to hide behind his mother. Well, we'll try her. But you would better let me do it, boy. You may be great at literature and law, but you haven't had real training in the sense. Remember me? I'm Bill Magnuson, the carter and hackman. I want to find your son, Oliver.
I don't know him and I don't want to.
Now, look here. We've had just about enough nonsense. This young man represents the court in the city, and we have a legal right to search all properties of this Oliver Lutkins.
Bill made Lewis sound very important, and the woman was impressed. She retired into the kitchen and they followed her. She seized an iron from the old fashioned stove and marched on them, shouting,
You search all what you want to, if you don't mind getting burnt first.
Let's get out of here. She will murder us. Did you see her smile? She was laughing at us.
They did, however, search the house. Since it was only 1 story high, Bill went round it, peering in at all the windows. They searched the barn and stable, and they were reasonably certain that Bill wasn't there. It was nearly time for Lewis to catch the afternoon train, and Bill drove him to the station. On the way to the city, Lewis worried very little over his failures to find Lutkins. He was too busy thinking about Bill Magnuson. Lewis didn't think much about Lutkins, but the office did. He found them all upset. Next morning, the case was coming up in the court and they had to have Lutkins. Lewis got embarrassed and ashamed. He felt himself a useless fool. That morning, his promising legal career almost came to an end before it had begun. Lewis got back to New Mullen, and with him went a man who had worked with Lutkins. Lewis was rather sorry because it would prevent his loafing all over again with Bill. When the train arrived at the New Mullen, Bill was on the station platform near his cart. Strangely enough, that old tigress Lutkins' mother was there, talking and laughing with Bill, not quarreling at all. From the train steps, Lewis pointed Bill out to his companion.
There's a fine person, a real man. I spent the day with him. He helped you to hunt for Oliver Lutkins? Yes, he really helped me a lot. He must have. He's Lutkins himself.
What really hurt Lewis was that when he served summons, Lutkins and his mother laughed on him as if he were a bright boy of 7. With loving kindness, they begged him to go with them to a neighbor's house for a cup of coffee. I told them about you, and they're anxious to look at you. They're about the only folks in the town that missed seeing you yesterday.